Welcome to Technia TV. Hello, I am Dr. Sandeep Kumar. Today I am delivering lecture on 4 steps to hypothesis testing. The 4 steps to hypothesis testing are as follows. Step 1, state the hypothesis. Step 2, set the criteria for a decision. Step 3, compute the test statistics. And step 4, make a decision. Now, what is step 1? Which is state the hypothesis. In this step, we begin by stating the value of a population mean in a null hypothesis, which we presume is true. For the children watching TV example, we state the null hypothesis that children in the India watch an average of 2 hours of TV per week. This is a starting point so that we can decide whether this is likely to be true, similar to the presumption of innocence in a courtroom. The basis of the decision is to determine whether this assumption is true. Likewise, in hypothesis testing, we start by assuming that the hypothesis or claim we are testing is true. This is stated in the null hypothesis. The basis of the decision is to determine whether this assumption is likely to be true. The null hypothesis H0 stated as the null is a statement about a population parameter such as the population mean that is assumed to be true. The null hypothesis is a starting point. We will test whether the value stated in the null hypothesis is likely to be true. Keep in mind that the only reason we are testing the null hypothesis is because we think it is wrong. We state what we think is wrong about the null hypothesis in an alternative hypothesis. For the children watching TV example, we may have reason to believe that children watch more than or less than 2 hours of TV per week in India. When we are uncertain of the direction, we can state that the value in null hypothesis is not equal to 2 hours. An alternative hypothesis represented by H1 is a statement that directly contradicts a null hypothesis by stating that the actual value of a population parameter is less than, greater than or not equal to the value stated in the null hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis states that what we think is wrong about the null hypothesis which is needed for step 2. Now, step 2 is concerned about the set the criteria for a decision. To set the criteria for a decision, we state the level of significance for a test. In hypothesis testing, we collect data to show that the null hypothesis is not true based on the likelihood of selecting a sample mean from a population. That is, the likelihood is the criteria. The likelihood or level of significance is typically set at 5% in behavioral research studies. When the probability of obtaining a sample mean is less than 5%, if the null hypothesis were true, then we conclude that the sample we selected is too unlikely and so we reject the null hypothesis. Now, there is a term that is the level of significance or that is significance level. It refers to the criteria of judgment upon which a decision is made regarding the value stated in null hypothesis. The criteria is based on the probability of obtaining a statistics measured in a sample if the value stated in the null hypothesis were true. In behavioral science, the criteria or level of significance is typically set at 5%. When the probability of obtaining a sample mean is less than 5%, if the null hypothesis were true, then we reject the value stated in the null hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis establishes where to place the level of significance. We know that the sample mean will equal the population mean on average if the null hypothesis is true. All other possible values of the sample mean are normally distributed as per the central limit theorem. The empirical rule tells us that at least 95% of the sample means fall within about 2 standard deviations of the population mean, meaning there is a less than a 5% probability of obtaining a sample mean that is beyond 2 standard deviations from the population mean. For the children watching TV example, we can look for the probability of obtaining a sample mean beyond 2 standard deviations in the lower tail, which is less than 3, or both tail not equal to 3. Figure 1 shows that the alternative hypothesis is used to determine which tail or tails to place the level of significance for a hypothesis test. Now I am explaining the step 3, which is compute the test statistic. Suppose we measure a sample mean equal to significance in hypothesis, that is 8 hours per week children watch TV. To make a decision, we need to evaluate testing is the criteria how likely the sample outcome is if the population mean stated by the null used to decide whether the hypothesis, which is 3 hours per week, is true. We use a test statistics to determine this value stated in the null likelihood. Specifically, a test statistic tells us how far or how many standard hypothesis is likely to be true. Deviations, a sample mean is from the population mean. The larger the value of the test statistics, the further the distance or number of standard deviations a sample mean is from the population mean stated in the null hypothesis. The value of test statistics is used to make a decision in step 4. The test statistics is a mathematical formula that allows researcher to determine the likelihood of obtaining sample outcome if the null hypothesis were true. The value of the test statistics is used to make a decision regarding the null hypothesis. Now I am explaining the step 4, which is make a decision. We use the value of the test statistic to make a decision about the null hypothesis. The decision is based on the probability of obtaining a sample mean, given that the value stated in the null hypothesis is true. If the probability of obtaining a sample mean is less than 5% when the null hypothesis is true, then the decision is to reject the null hypothesis. If the probability of obtaining a sample mean is greater than 5% when the null hypothesis is true, then the decision is to retain the null hypothesis. In sum, there are 2 decisions that a researcher can make. First one, reject the null hypothesis. The sample mean is associated with a low probability of occurrence when the null hypothesis is true. And the second point, retain the null hypothesis. The sample mean is associated with a high probability of occurrence when the null hypothesis is true. The probability of obtaining a sample mean, given that the value stated in the null hypothesis is true, is stated by the p-value. The p-value is a probability. It varies between 0 and 1 and can never be negative. In step 2, we stated the criteria or probability of obtaining a sample mean, at which point we will decide to reject the value stated in the null hypothesis, which is typically set at 5% in behavioral research. To make a decision, we compare the p-value to the criteria we set in step 2. A p-value is the probability of obtaining a sample outcome given that the value stated in the null hypothesis is true. The p-value for obtaining a sample outcome is compared to the level of significance. Now, I am explaining significance or a statistical significance. It describes a decision made concerning a value stated in the null hypothesis. When the null hypothesis is rejected, we reach significance. When the null hypothesis is retained, we fail to reach significance. When the p-value is less than 5%, we reject the null hypothesis. We will refer to p less than 0.05 as the criteria for deciding to reject the null hypothesis, although note that when p equal to 0.05, the decision is also to reject the null hypothesis. When the p-value is greater than 5%, we retain the null hypothesis. The decision to reject or retain the null hypothesis is called significance. When the p-value is less than 0.05, we reach significance. That is, the decision is to reject the null hypothesis. When the p-value is greater than 0.05, we fail to reach significance. That is, the decision to retain the null hypothesis. This is the culmination of my lecture on 4 steps of hypothesis testing. Hope you will find it useful. Watch more lectures on research methodology on Technia TV. Subscribe Technia TV. Thanks a lot.